I was told my back would never heal. I've battled with low confidence my entire life. And I've never felt happy looking in the mirror. Fast forward to today, and my back has completely healed. I'm now confident as a person, and now my body looks, functions, and feels better than ever before. It's time to learn how to overcome physical and mental barriers, how to build a sustainable lifestyle, and build a body that looks, feels, and functions the way you've always desired. You're listening to the Redesign Your Body Show with Jake.
Welcome to the Redesign Your Body radio show, live on Apple 98.5 FM and as a podcast on your favorite podcasting platform. So today, the big topic is, that was my awful drum roll, motivation and why it's not the secret. Bum, bum, bum. All right. So motivation is a big topic on this episode and why I believe you shouldn't rely on it to see you through to achieving your goals. It plays a role, but it's not the secret to achieving your health and fitness goals. It's not something that's going to last forever. It comes and goes in life, and it's not just in the health and fitness field. Think back to the last time you were motivated to do something, whether it be hitting the gym or starting that new book. How long did it last before you said, stuff this, I haven't got time? Or, I'll do it another time. And my personal favorite, which I might hear all the time, I'm just not motivated to do it anymore. Let that sink in. I'm sure we've all said something like that before. So in my experience, those people who rely on motivation to help them achieve a task are not going to be the ones that often do said task or achieve that goal. Now, I'm not saying that there are people out there that always rely on motivation and actually have achieved that goal just through sheer willpower and motivation alone. But for the majority of people out there, it's not going to be the case. Why? Because you rely on that energy to do those daily activities that are required to achieve that task. And that's always, I can't stress this enough, it's always going to fluctuate. Why? It's fleeting. It's not going to be there when you require it. You can't just summon the motivation and it'll just pop up out of the ground because you're just going to come up with another excuse. Heck, I've said this and I've gone and done it. So you can't tell me that it's not true and that you haven't done it either. Let that sink in. I'll give you another example of what I've been through, and this one's very funny. When I first signed up with my trainer, Matt, back in early 2017, it was like March or April, I was motivated to get abs because as every young bloke, I think they think abs are the epitome of health and fitness, and it's not. But I wanted to get abs to impress this girl. And there's a lot of truth to that because now thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, typical 19-year-old. I thought if I had that motivation that I was going to do, I was going to get somewhere with it. Reality set in after 5 weeks. And I didn't do my weekly tasks that my coach Matt had set for me. I continued to live my old lifestyle, which was drinking on weekends, binging chips and McDonald's and all those unsavory foods that I didn't want to put into my body. I knew I shouldn't be, but I did. Okay. And then I was still eating, my donuts throughout the weekend. I wasn't living a new lifestyle. I wasn't changing anything. I was just staying the same. And it's even more funny is that I wasn't even talking to the girl anymore. It was like 6 weeks in. We stopped seeing each other. Where's my motivation? How am I going to impress the girl that I'm not even, seeing anymore? So there wasn't a strong reason to change. My why wasn't strong enough. You can go listen to me cover this topic in more detail about your why in episode 2, that strong emotional reason. But we're going to move on from that. This is where goal setting, it comes into play. Now, I'm going to talk about setting a goal that you really want to achieve versus a goal you think you need to achieve. It all comes down to that strong emotional connection to why you're doing this. if you have that in place of motivation, there's going to be a way higher chance of you putting in the work, right? So think about the times that you've been committed to something and you just knew you had to turn up and you had to do the work week in, week out, whether it was you're a uni student and had to put in the work to do the assignment, or you had to go to work and complete a work project, or you just had to go and see your grandparents every week, for example, because it's non-negotiable, okay? You just want to spend time with the grandparents. Like, you have to do those things that have an emotional connection, otherwise it's not going to work, all right? So there's a higher chance of you putting in the work if there's an emotional connection there to doing something. I've seen a lot of people over the years come and go through the gym, and I've seen a lot of people rely on motivation. And at the start, it's okay to get you through the door, but you need to have that strong driving factor, jumbling my words, to see it through after life gets in the way, or the high of being motivated because the new year is set in is going to wear off as well. You know, so again, motivation, how many times, look, think about the times you've set New Year's resolutions, right? And you set your New Year's resolutions, and all of a sudden, it's a month down the track, 2 months, things start to get hard and life gets in the way and things are popping up and you're no longer motivated to do it. What has that told you? How many times have you done that in the last 5-10 years where you've been motivated because you set new goals, but you set goals you thought you needed, not goals that you wanted, you know, again. So that effect of motivation wears off and you're just left with, oh, I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not motivated. All right. I've seen a lot less of these people, but still a very committed group of people to their health and training by turning up week in, week out, even when they feel awful and sometimes don't want to be there. What these people have, though, and it's not being motivated 24/7. Here's the thing. Nobody is. And if you are, then congrats, you've unlocked the secret. But for the rest of us, nobody is motivated. It's 24/7. It's human to not be firing on all cylinders 110% of the time. And I'm a big example of that. You have to have a strong emotional connection to what you want to achieve and do the non-negotiables in order to get closer to your goal. And that's what I've seen in these people, this small group of people, and even clients that I work with, that strong emotional connection. You know, they might feel awful sometimes. A lot of life things going in the way, family, work, you know, stress, anxiety, relationships, but they still turn up and they're still committed. They're not motivated, but they know that the end goal for them requires to turn up week in and week out. Okay. Now I want to touch on what I was just about to elaborate on is for myself. Not, you know, I had this thing in my past and I still suffer from sometimes where I feel like I need to be at 110% all the time. And it's not until recently that I've started to take less off my plate because I get overwhelmed. Okay. And my motivation isn't always there now. You know, some days I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to do all this stuff. And then other days I'm like flat and I'm like, why do I feel like this? I can't find the energy to do anything. I'm just not motivated, but I want to do things, but I'm just not motivated. And, you know, I don't beat myself up because I'm not motivated, because I know that I've put in the work, you know, majority of the other days. I'm not going to beat myself up. Okay. So I just take it. All right. I'm probably not going to accomplish anything today because I just don't feel the best. I do the tasks that I'm committed to necessarily, that I have to do, but anything extra for me, sometimes I just don't. And that's human too. Okay. We're not going to be at 110% at all times. Remember that. So I mentioned the non-negotiables. Here we go. Now, what do these successful people who turn up week in, week out, and even when they feel awful, they've got a lot of things going on in their life, stress, relationships, anxiety, work, kids, family. What are the non-negotiables that they do to see them through to achieving those goals that they have for themselves? So just like their job, they turn up to their training sessions even when they might not bloody want to. Excuse the language. They don't focus on an end date for achieving goals as much as someone who has the diet mindset. And I'll elaborate that further, that the diet mindset is, I'm going to try this for 6 weeks and see what happens. If it doesn't work, it's not for me. How many times have you said that? Huh? All right. That's the diet mindset. I'm going to try this for a time frame. Okay. These people are going to turn up each and every week until it gets done, until they hit that point. It's not a time frame. Sure, they might have something in mind, but if it doesn't happen, they're still going to keep working towards it. Okay. So they don't focus on an end date. They put in the work. Now, I can't stress this one enough, within their home environment to prepare those meals in their off time, despite maybe wanting to relax on the couch with their partner, spending time with the kids, playing video games. That's something I love to do, and I'd rather be playing video games. But if I have to food prep because I'm hungry, I have to food prep because otherwise I know I'm not going to take steps forward in my health and fitness. It's a non-negotiable, and you make those sacrifices, and it's a sacrifice that I'm happy to make because in the end, if I want to get to my goals of being in better shape, and I need to put in the work at home and create the food that is going to get me there. Okay. Video games can wait for when I have the free time. Okay. So that's part of my routine. So you can see why I don't want you to focus so much on being motivated all the time to get anything done with your health, whether it's being stronger or to lose weight or to just improve in any aspect regarding your personal health. These people that I'm talking about, these successful people that achieve their goals and keep setting new ones, they don't have that diet mindset. They don't rely on motivation. They just stick to the non-negotiables. They treat it like I just have to do this if I want to get there. And I'm the exact same. I put in the work. There's some days where I just don't want to do training. And I'm like, I don't want to do it, but I still do it. Okay. There are days when I don't want to food prep. I don't want to do it, but I still do it because if I didn't do these non-negotiables, I would not get anywhere. I can't stress that enough. Don't rely on motivation. Rely on having a strong reason to change, having that commitment to yourself, because that in the end is what's going to be there after motivation pops up, pops down, pops up, pops down, and disappears all the time. I want you to understand it's normal to be unmotivated, and it takes commitment to create something special from yourself. So the next time you feel like you're not motivated to do anything, I want you to go and listen to episode 2 of the podcast, your why, that strong emotional connection. And I want you to, for what you want to achieve, I want you to go listen to the episode because it'll make that journey a hell of a lot easier. And then it will make this episode on why motivation isn't the secret it'll make more sense when you listen to it a second time and a third time and a fourth time if you're really into it. Okay. So everything I'm going to be speaking about, it's all going to connect the dots later on. So if you haven't listened to it, episode 2, your why, that strong emotional connection, that's where you want to start. If you're not sure why your motivation isn't getting you anywhere. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on social media or email me at jakepearsonpt@gmail.com. Thank you for listening to this episode on why motivation isn't the secret to success. Whether you listen live on Apple 91.5 FM or your favorite podcasting platform, it's actually been really fun talking to you on this segment. So I'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Redesign Your Body podcast. If you're looking for more daily support and inspiration, you can join our community Facebook support group. Just head over to our website at redesignpodcast.com/podcast. Jake, signing off.